Hello YouTubers, I've had a request to do a video about all the phones that I own. So here they all are in their splendour. What I'll do is just go through each phone, why I got them, and a little bit about their spec, and just tell you what I think of them. We've got the Samsung Shark S5550, we've got the LG Secret, the Nokia C300, and the orange San Francisco or ZTE Blade. Okay, so let's start off with my oldest phone, which is the LG Secret. Now, I got this after having the Beauty for quite some time. I wanted a slide version of the LG Beauty, and this was the best that I could get. The video is really good on it. It's probably the best that I've seen on a slide phone. It's not quite as good as the LG Beauty, only because in low light the video gets quite dark, but in normal daytime the VGA quality on it is really good. It records in AVI, it's got a 5 megapixel camera on it, and there's loads of features on this. The only downside about it was these touch sensitive keys that are on it. I kept phoning people I didn't even know I was phoning, and kept going on the internet, which would cost me quite a bit. So that's why I stopped using it, because the touch screen was just too sensitive for my liking. But it is a good phone. It is my oldest phone. I would still recommend it if you're looking for a half decent camera on a phone. But then, having said that, there are a lot better phones out there nowadays which meet the same criteria. So that's the LG Secret. Next up we have the Samsung S5550. I think it's called a Shark 2. I got this phone because I wanted to get the Samsung G600, but they didn't really do it anymore, and I wanted a phone with a 5 megapixel camera on it. I thought the video was going to be really good. It is quite good. You got 30 frames per second, but it's in QVGA, which was a little bit disappointing. Why they couldn't have put VGA on here, I don't know. But it is a nice slide phone, and it's quite basic compared to what phones are like nowadays. But as a backup phone, it is quite a good one to have. Plus the slide mechanism is quite nice. The battery life is pretty good on this, and the LG Secret actually. But I don't really use it anymore because of the other phones that I'm using at the moment. So that's the Samsung S5550. Next up we have the Nokia C300. Now, I got this one because I was disappointed with the Sony Ericsson X10 Mini Pro's battery life. I wanted a phone with a QWERTY keyboard, and my brother had a BlackBerry, so I was sort of looking at the BlackBerry type phones. This was really cheap, and it has got basic internet on it. You can check your emails, go online, and look at YouTube videos, but obviously the quality isn't really that great. It is a good budget phone to have. The battery life is the best out of all the phones that I've got, and it is a really stonking phone. The only downside is the camera. It's only 2 megapixels. The video quality is relatively okay, but again, it's only QVGA, and you only get about 20-25 frames per second out of it in bright daylight, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. Why these companies are stopped putting VGA on their phones, I don't know. It is, these sort of phones can cope with 30 frames per second VGA. Why they couldn't put it on this, I don't know, and it would have made this phone a lot better. But it is a really good budget phone to get, so I would highly recommend it. And lastly, we have my recentest phone, which is the orange San Francisco. I flipping love this phone. I think it is absolutely brilliant. I really like the Android software that was on the Sony Ericsson, and to be able to have that again at a much cheaper price, I'm just really chuffed with it. I've got Launcher Pro on here, which I'm using. You can customize it really easily. Apparently you can unlock it really easily as well. You can stick custom ROMs on it as well. So even though it's got 2.1 orange firmware on there, you can easily upgrade that to 2.3 if you wanted to, or 2.2, and it does seem to cope with the upgrades quite nicely, One thing I did find on my sort of perusing of the internet is that in the 2.1 firmware, the camera only does SIF recording, which is a little bit bigger than QVGA, and I've managed to get about 15 to 20 frames per second out of it, but the quality of the video is just diabolical. And apparently if you upgrade to the 2.2 firmware, then you can get the VGA video recording, and apparently the quality is a lot better. So I'm hoping that Orange will step up and put the 2.2 firmware on this phone. It would be nice if they had an official upgrade for it, and it would be nice if they put the VGA video record on it, because that's the only thing that lets this down. The processor in this is the same as the likes of the Sony Ericsson X8 and also the HTC Wildfire. Both of those cameras can handle a better video record. The X8 does VGA in 30 frames per second, and I've seen clips of it and it is really good. Basically I was choosing between this and the X8. The reason I went for this is because of its easy install of the custom ROMs, but like I say, the camera sort of lets it down. If you're looking for a budget Android phone, then this is a really good one to get, because of just how easy it is to unlock it and customize it, and just, you know, basically this has a lot of features that the more expensive phones have. And if you can get one with a AMOLED screen, then even better, but I don't think they do them anymore. I really do like the San Francisco. I think it is a stonking piece of kit. I would highly recommend it. As far as budget phones are concerned, I think my top favourite budget phones is the Nokia C3 and the Orange San Francisco, which is also the ZTE Blade. My favouriteest and my main phone at the moment is the San Francisco. I think it's stonking and I'm really glad I got it. That's my phones. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll do some more later on. Okay, bye bye for now.